Yeah. All right. I just want to talk about when we were discussing about assessment. Though we have said a lot about assessment for learning or assessment of learning, but considering especially the scenario in our country, I would also like to talk about authentic assessments. You know, these days when we tend to assess, the kids are able to experience what we are assessing and how we are assessing, and then they form their opinion based on that, the younger kids, you know. So I'll give you a simple example of today. Now when recently Haryana board has announced its class 10th results, which obviously during the pandemic time nobody went through typically a pen and paper test, which was at least authentic. Here we have 19 to 20% of the students scoring perfect 100 marks, you know, especially during these pandemic times, when we know at least the content learning, or you know, assimilation of the content must have taken a backseat when everything is online. You know, initial 6 years we all struggle to get first the required infrastructure, secondly how to use that, leave apart applying our knowledge, you know. There when students are scoring so high, it is not only like no authenticity of the assessment under scanner, but it is also the impact this has on learners, you know. Today my son who's in 12 and who has seen his counterparts or his seniors being assessed like that feels that mama, doesn't matter, teacher is going to give me marks, doesn't matter. So what kind of you know, society are we leading to? So, authentic assessment in terms of what we are going to assess. Like Kathy pointed out, interest based assignment, you know, learn to assess the child based on what the child knows and not based on what the child does not know or does not want to know, is very important. And this year, we still haven't touched that field at all, you know. 12th, I was hopeful that we would, but probably a lot still has to go, because all we have done is given different weightage to just the academic or the content assessment that we had typically been doing over years, you know. We still have to mature enough to assess, to create authentic assessments, and that's where, at least for the formative assessment, yes, we cannot change the government policies, but formative assessment, all of us who are sitting over here can inculcate authentic assessment there. It is within our circle of influence. It is not anything to do with government. So, as such, what I feel is we as educationists need to now start thinking of how authentic assessments can go to the classroom over and above. I'm not saying replace pen and paper test, but along with pen and paper test, lot more needs to be done in order to create authentic assessments. And we surely know, all of us know how, but how to take it to the classroom, how to help the teachers create those assessments is where we all need to kind of jump in and do our bit.
Push it. Exactly, exactly. I would like to, yeah,
Yeah,
Annapurna ma'am, you have a question to ask?
yeah, yeah. I just want to add on. Of late, actually, we've even started looking at assessment as learning, where there's a lot of reflection that is taking place, where children are encouraged to reflect on their learning, identify what is it that they have learned, what is it that they are finding it difficult, where do they stand as regards learning is concerned. Because a teacher most of the time is focused on teaching. To what extent is she understanding how much of the learning is really happening, and this particular aspect, assessment as learning, I think should give some kind of